UFC Fight Night, Adesanya versus Imavov this Saturday night, boys. It's a full card breakdown, my predictions, everything you got to know about the fight card. Let's get straight into it. This is an absolute banger fight card. Saudi Arabia, they always put together the best fucking fight cards possible. So, we're blessed in that way. At least that region, Dana White gives them a bit of privilege. But we got a great fight night. Way better than UFC 312. And I'm gonna be breaking down the entire card, every single fight, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. And let's get straight into it, boys. Starting off the fight card, we got a heavyweight matchup. Hamdi Al-Dawab versus Jamal Pogues. I'm sorry if I butchered his last name, but yo, Hamdi's back. Hamdi's back. You already know what happened to Hamdi. If you don't know, Hamdi, he fought maybe 2 years ago. He got pulled for steroids. He got pulled for steroids. He was juicing, and he still looked like this, man, as a heavyweight. And he was juicing. He had an insane amount of juice up in his body. And if you don't know what I mean by juice, he was full of steroids. He was full of steroids. Got kicked out, got booted, came back. He is now back. The UFC was so desperate for a freaking heavyweight that they brought Hamdi back. Anyways, all that being said, though, Hamdi is an Olympic wrestler, one of the only Egyptian Olympic wrestlers, at least in the UFC. And, he's a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler. Hasn't shown to use his wrestling too much, but in this matchup against Jamal Pogues, I do believe Hamdi will be putting that wrestling to use. Jamal Pogues, he's a decently well-rounded heavyweight, good on the feet, decent on the ground, but once he's on his back, he struggles to get up and he struggles to reverse positions. Being a heavyweight, in general, it's difficult for guys like this to reverse positions and do that stuff. But since Hamdi's a good wrestler, very great wrestler, and then Jamal Pogues struggles to get back up, I do believe Hamdi will be shooting the takedowns and controlling on the ground. I'm going to be going Hamdi Abdel Wahab by decision. I think he's going to just, hold him down on the ground, mix in the wrestling, and have better striking in general. I do think Jamal Pogues could outstrike him, but I just don't think he's going to be able to stay on his feet to get that done. He is a decently well-rounded heavyweight, but he's nothing special. And I just think even though Hamdi's not juicing, he's just a better wrestler. And when you're a heavyweight and you're on the ground with a really great wrestler like Hamdi, it's gonna be difficult to get back up. So I'm gonna be going Hamdi by decision, like I said before. We will move on though to the next fight. We got Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. This is a fun one. Bogdan Grad, I saw him on Dana White Contender Series. Looks like a fun fighter. I think he's going to be a fun fighter, especially in this fight against Lucas Alexander. Lucas Alexander, he brings the fight to you. And even though he's not throwing crazy stuff, he definitely pushes the pace. And we'll see if Bogdan Grad can handle that. Bogdan Grad, he picks his shots wisely. He doesn't go crazy. He's not, winging shots, and he's not pushing the pace too heavily, but he can clip you. He can catch you. He's got power. Bogdan Grad has power. And I do think he could potentially knock out Lucas Alexander. I am going to be going Bogdan Grad. He is the underdog. I think he will have a chance to connect and find Lucas Alexander's chin and potentially knock him out. Lucas Alexander has been knocked out before. He has struggled with power punches, but we'll see how this one plays out. I am going to be going Bogdan Grad to get this one done by finish. I think he could find the knockout in the second or third round. Moving on, we've got Jasmine Jazu Davicius versus Mayra Bueno Silva. This is a fun one, man. This is a fun one, and I've been seeing a lot of people picking Jazzy. I get it. Jazz Davicius, very good fighter. She's Canadian. I rep the Canadians. I want to pick Jasmine Jazu Davicius, but this just seems like the perfect matchup for Mayra Bueno Silva to win, man. A lot of people are doubting Mayra Bueno Silva. She's been up. She was in bantamweight. She's now moving down to flyweight. She's moving down to flyweight, and she's gonna be a much bigger woman than Jasmine Jazu Davicius. She's gonna be bigger. She's gonna be more powerful, and her submission game is absolutely out of this world. Mayra Bueno Silva has some of the best submissions in women's MMA, and it's gonna be now in flyweight for sure. And I think Jazz Davicius is a very very great grappler. She's a good wrestler. I think she will get Bueno to the ground, but Bueno off of her back. Mayra is very good off of her back. She finds arm bars. She finds knees. She had a knee submission not that long ago. And she finds arm bars. Arm bars are her favorite thing. And I think with a girl like Jasmine Jazu Davicius, who she's experienced, but she hasn't fought that many good people. If you look at her record, she's fought quite a lot of bums at flyweight. Fought a lot of girls who kind of have mixed records, aren't the best. Mayra Bueno Silva has fought the best of the best. She fought Raquel Pennington for the title. She gassed out. It was a 5-rounder. She gassed out. She fought for the title, and then she just fought Macy Chiasson, and she lost that. She lost that by knockout, but only because of the fact that she had a huge gash above her eye. And her fight before that, like right now, her record looks horrible. Mayra Bueno Silva, her record looks bad. But, she submitted Holly Holm with a guillotine. She submitted her. I don't remember why it became a no contest. There was some sort of issue. It was a no contest, but she submitted her. And before that, she had a knee bar. The time before that, she had an arm bar. Like, her submission game, top of the line. Mayra Bueno Silva, her BJJ is up here. And I just feel like Jasmine, she might get her to the ground, but I think Mayra could find a finish off of her back. So I am going to be going Mayra Bueno Silva by submission in the second round. I think she'll find it mid to late second round. A nice armbar, or maybe armbar or triangle. I think that's what she'll find. Maybe a leg triangle could be found in this fight. I am going to be going Mayra Bueno Silva by submission though. But we will move on to the next fight. We got Terrence McKinney versus Damir Hadzovic, man. They're giving Terrence McKinney anybody they can find, man. Damir Hadzovic should not be in the UFC. This guy should be gone. Both their records are very similar, but Damir's never really done anything in his career to show that any spark of, potentially being a great UFC fighter. He struggled. He's been submitted before. The popular clip of Renato Moicano getting mad at Damir for getting submitted too quick. That's such a funny one, but I think Terrence McKinney is going to do exactly what Renato Moicano did. I think he's going to take Damir down, submit him in the first round, easy, nonstop, unless Damir lands some crazy right hook and just knocks Terrence McKinney out. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But this one, there's not much to be said about it. Terrence McKinney is literally the definition of a 50-50 fighter. Do not place your money anywhere near Terrence McKinney, especially not as what is he, like a negative 200 favorite? He's something crazy, some sort of huge favorite. Do not parlay Terrence McKinney. Do not straight bet Terrence McKinney. If you want to bet the over or bet the under. I would say bet the under, but just stay away from this fight, man. Stay away from this fight. This is going to be either a huge upset or a quick finish by Terrence McKinney. We'll see. But I'm going to be going Terrence McKinney by submission. I think he will submit Damir Hadzovic because Damir struggles on the ground. He's got decent wrestling and his striking's okay, but really, he's got short arms. He doesn't have much going for him, especially at lightweight. I think Terrence McKinney will overpower him, especially on the ground, and he will find that submission. I'm saying Terrence McKinney submission or maybe knockout round 1. But we will move on to Shamil the Blob Gaziev. This is a good one, boys. Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson. Two fat heavyweights going at it. We love to see it, man. Thomas Peterson literally looks like your average Joe. He looks like your average fat Joe, and he is he's got a chance to break into the rankings here against Shamil Gaziev. Shamil Gaziev, man, he struggled in some fights. He fought Rosenstrike as his second fight. He got thrown to the wolves and got knocked out. He gassed out. It was a 5-rounder. Actually, was it a 5-rounder? Now I'm thinking about it. No, it was a 5-rounder. It was a main event. Sorry. And here he's against Thomas Peterson. Gaziev, I think he's going to be the better fighter all around. People think, they joke about Shamil Gaziev, but I do believe that he has improved his cardio. He just fought. He went 3 rounds straight, got the decision. He's improved his cardio. He's improved his striking. I'm sure his wrestling's got better. Shamil Gaziev is actually improving as a fighter. A lot of people said he's going to struggle with cardio his entire career. He's going to struggle to, be able to go the entire distance. But I think he's shown in his last fight he can go the distance with Dontel Mays. He went the distance. So I do believe Shamil Gaziev can either finish this fight or go the distance in this fight. And if it does go the distance, for sure Shamil Gaziev will get the win. We are in Saudi Arabia. Come on, boys. They favor fighters like this. So we're going to be going Shamil Gaziev by decision. I think he will get the decision. I think Thomas Peterson, he can push the decision. He beat Mo Usman not that long ago. That's a good win. Man. Usman is a beast, So don't underestimate Thomas Peterson, but if it does go the decision, it will go to Shamil Gaziev. I will be going Shamil Gaziev by unanimous decision. Moving on, we got Muhammad Naimov versus Con Offley. Right off the bat, I'm picking Muhammad Naimov. Look, no hate to Con Offley. I think he is a great fighter, but I just don't think he has any chance against Muhammad Naimov. I'm gonna say this and watch. He's gonna pull off a huge upset, but throughout the entire series of Tough with Con Offley, it was kind of like he only has one thing. He only has a decent wrestling and he has okay submissions, but he has such short arms that he can't wrap up submissions like crazy. And it's true, he can't wrap up Darce chokes really. He can't wrap up guillotine chokes very well. Like these things are kind of it's what he wants to do, right? It's what he wants to do. He wants the BJJ. He wants to find a submission, but he's got short arms. He's quite stubby. He's short. He's short and much shorter than Muhammad Naimov. And I just think Naimov is going to be able to do really what he wants in this fight. We've seen him multiple times. He has great wrestling. Naimov's got great wrestling, and he's improved his striking for sure. So even though I think Colin Offley is a great fighter, in his last fight, he got knocked out cold by Myron Santos. He got caught very bad. I remember watching that. I was like, wow. I was like, damn, either Myron Santos is very good or Colin Offley is very bad. I'm going to have to think that it's a mix of both, but I will be going Muhammad Naimov. I don't think he'll finish Colin Offley, but I do think he will easily school him on the feet and on the ground. So I'm going to go Muhammad Naimov by decision. Moving on, though, is this the main card? Or is this the prelims? Wait, no, this is the main card. My bad. This is the main card. We're starting off Faresiam versus Mike Davis. This is a good fight. This is a very good fight. I do think Faresiam deserves a ranked opponent, especially if he beats Mike Davis, which I think he will. I can't believe Faresiam is the dog in this one. Like, I think the odds should be closer. I know Mike Davis is a very well-rounded fighter. He's a very well-rounded fighter. Great striking, great kicks. He's got amazing kicks. And his wrestling is good. He knows how to keep it on the feet, and he can take it down to the ground as well. He's got a decent submission game. He's got a good rear naked choke. And Faresiam has been submitted before. So I understand why Mike Davis is the favorite, but I do believe Faresiam has improved heavily. And he's just coming off that beautiful knockout over Matt Favola. Matt Favola isn't the best fighter, I will be honest, and he's been on a downfall recently, but Faresiam still showed that he's a great striker. He's a great striker, and I think he will be able to defend the takedowns against Mike Davis. He's going to have the reach advantage and a little bit of height advantage. I think Faresiam will be able to outstrike and outpoint Mike Davis on the feet. And also, people forget, Mike Davis has huge layoffs. He had a layoff of like a year and a half. Then he gets injured, then has another layoff, then gets injured, then has another layoff. His career, he's just struggled to stay healthy. And I just think it doesn't help him in a fight against a guy like Faresiam, who is going to want to keep it striking. Mike Davis will have to strike with him. And, if he can take him down and submit him right away, I would be shocked if Mike Davis did that. But I am going to be going Faresiam. I think he will get the decision. It will be close. I think this will be a close fight, but I think he will squeeze out the decision. And hopefully we could see Faresiam fight for, against a ranked opponent soon. Because I do think he is a good fighter. I think he's a very good fighter. And I think he will be a good lightweight prospect, especially if he beats Mike Davis. So, Faresiam by decision, boys. We will move on, though, to one of the best fights. Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. Rip-off Nurmagomedov versus Oliveira, just the bantamweight version. We got Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. Both these guys only have 3 losses. They're both great fighters. This is a very tough pick, man. The reason I'm going to be picking who I pick is genuinely just because we're in the region of the world that we're in here. We got some Said Nurmagomedov. He's a Russian. His name is literally Nurmagomedov. His final name is Nurmagomedov. If this goes the distance, Said Nurmagomedov will get his hand raised unless Vinicius Oliveira does the most outstanding damage and completely schools him everywhere. Then, of course, they're not going to rob him that bad. But even if it's close, remotely close, Nurmagomedov will get the decision. So I am going to be going Said Nurmagomedov by decision. I don't think this will end in a finish. I think both guys are very well-rounded. Vinicius Oliveira has huge power in his hands, and he's not scared to walk you down and start winging bombs for sure. And Said Nurmagomedov too, he isn't Nurmagomedov, but his striking is very good. He's got good kicks. His straight shots down the middle are very good. I think he will be able to tag Vinicius with the straight shots down the middle. And Vinicius, he's got a very relentless pace. He keeps coming at you, keeps winging bombs, but I do think Nurmagomedov will be able to, stand his ground, come at him, and land those straight shots and do the damage that he needs to get this decision. So I will be going Said Nurmagomedov, but I could see an upset by Vinicius Oliveira. I wouldn't be surprised if, he somehow pulled off a knockout or maybe a submission. I would say probably knockout, but Saeed also has amazing submissions. His guillotine is super, super tight. And if Vinicius dives in on him, Saeed will wrap up that guillotine very quick because he has long arms. He's tall in the division, but he is fighting a guy who's taller than him. He's fighting a guy who's taller than him in bantamweight, which he doesn't usually do. So we'll see how Nurmagomedov deals with this, but I will be going Saeed Nurmagomedov by decision. Moving on though, Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. This is a last stand for Sergey Pavlovich. He needs this win. I'm going to be honest, he needs this win. He has been struggling in his past couple fights, got knocked out by Tom Aspinall. Fair loss, fair loss. Tom Aspinall's the best in the world. He should be real champ. And then he just lost to Volkov. It was pretty bad. Pavlovich got his face beaten up for 15 minutes. He got stung by the jab, and we saw that Pavlovich can't deal with a nice, crisp jab. Of course, Volkov is 6'7" with a huge freaking wingspan, but Pavlovich could not deal with that. He couldn't land his power shots. He seemed weak. He seemed like he was kind of deterred of the win, and he was upset at the end. He was upset at the end, and we'll see. Did he get remotivated? Did he find his passion again? Did he also work on his game? Because Pavlovich is a great, great heavyweight boxer, but he doesn't mix it up well. He doesn't kick. He doesn't shoot takedowns. He doesn't mix it up at all, and he's a huge guy. He could be shooting takedowns. It's just not his thing. Both of these guys, both Pavlovich and Rozenstruik, literally have never shot a takedown, ever. Ever. This is a guaranteed fight that stays on the feet unless one of them is getting fucked up on the feet. Then maybe they'll consider shooting a takedown, but neither of these guys have ever shot a takedown, ever. So I'd be very shocked if one of them did. But, this is going to be a close fight, man. I do think Pavlovich can easily knock Rozenstruik out. I won't lie. I think Rozenstruik has not the best chin. He's been chinned before. Of course, it was, he's been chinned by Ngannou, who's a huge heavyweight, one of the best heavyweights of all time. But Pavlovich has that power to chin you, and I do think he could find the knockout on Rozenstruik. I will be going Sergey Pavlovich, but I could see Jairzinho Rozenstruik getting this win. If he's able to survive the first round and gas out Pavlovich a bit and start landing his jab, which Rozenstruik has one of the best jabs at heavyweight. If he starts stinging Pavlovich with that jab, he will win this fight. He will win this fight. If he can make it past the first round, sting with the jab, and just do that for the full 15 minutes, he will get the decision for sure. For sure. But I do think Pavlovich will find the knockout in the first round. So I will be going Sergey Pavlovich by knockout in round one. But if Rozenstruik pulls off that decision, I wouldn't be completely shocked, boys. Moving on, though, to the co-main event of the evening, or of the morning. For me, it's at least the morning. We got Shara Magomedov versus Michael Venom Page. Shara the Bullet versus Michael Venom Page. This is a great, great striking matchup. I just made a video about this yesterday. Amazing, amazing fight, boys. This is going to be very, very close. It's going to be very close. A lot of people don't think this is going to be that close. I think it's going to be very close. We got Shara Magomedov, one of the best strikers in middleweight right now. Huge up-and-coming guy, huge prospect, 15-0. He's expected to win. Of course. But we're looking at Michael Venom Page, who is also an exceptional striker. Both these guys stay on the feet. They are not shooting takedowns. This is going to be a peak striking matchup. This is the striking dream matchup, okay? And we got Shara Magomedov, Muay Thai, Michael Venom Page, karate. So this is the ultimate battle here. And Shara Magomedov, of course, has amazing, beautiful kicks. He's a Muay Thai fighter. He's got a very bladed stance. But Michael Venom Page, completely sideways karate, bouncing around stance. And he blitzes in, lands his strikes, backs out. So it's going to be interesting to see if Magomedov can deal with that. It will be very interesting to see if Magomedov can deal with that. I do think he will. I think he will get this win, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a lot closer than people expect. I think Michael Venom Page will land some shots, and I think he will stun Shara Magomedov at some point. But I do think Magomedov will adjust to Michael Venom Page's very unorthodox, fight style, and I think he will be able to start landing his kicks and start connecting on the feet, with his hands. I just think he's going to be able to land the cleaner shots, at least in round 2 and round 3. I think round 1 will be Michael Venom Page's round. I think he will bounce around, poke at Magomedov, and Magomedov won't really know what to do because he's not used to this style. Nobody's used to Michael Venom Page's style, But also, Michael Venom Page is moving up to middleweight. I think he's going to be a lot more susceptible to body shots, to body shots and leg kicks, which Magomedov has amazing body kicks and leg kicks. So I do think Magomedov will get the win. I think he will get the decision in the end. But this is going to be a close fight, boys. It's going to be a very, very fun fight. But I will be going Magomedov by unanimous decision. Of course, we are also in Saudi Arabia, so they're going to want Magomedov to win. But I'm not saying Michael Venom Page can pull it off. Anyways, moving on to the main event, Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. This is one I've been going back and forth with. This is such a close fight, and I almost can't pick one of them, but I am going to be going with Nasruddin Imavov. I see everybody picking Israel Adesanya, and don't get me wrong, I do want Izzy to win. I don't want to see Izzy's career just end here. I don't want it to end here because if he loses to Imavov, this 3-fight loss streak, and he won't be a contender anymore. High chance he'll be very demotivated, or unmotivated, what am I saying? But nonetheless, let me just break this down. Israel Adesanya, he has had so many fights in the UFC. His tape, the amount of tape you can watch on Israel Adesanya is out of this world, right? There's an insane amount of tape. His fight style is very predictable. We know what Izzy wants to do. He wants to bounce around, he wants a decent counter strike, and he wants to keep it in the center of the octagon. He wants to be at striking range. His kicks, his punches, his jabs, Israel Adesanya knows how to control the center of the ring or the octagon perfectly. He knows how to control it perfectly. When people can't get in close on him, they can't really do too much, okay? They can't do too much. We've seen this in many fights, and when they do try to get close, he can counter strike. We saw this when he fought Whitaker, when he fought Costa. These guys he was able to pick apart at range, and it forced them to blitz in, and then he was able to counter strike and land those shots. The thing with Nasruddin Imavov, the difference is that Imavov, if he is smart, he will have a wrestling game plan, and he will be going for takedowns on Izzy up against the fence. I think he will force Izzy to be uncomfortable against the fence. People say Izzy is the best counter striker. He is not that good of a counter striker, okay? He does tend to wing bombs. It has happened in the Alex Pereira fight. He did wing the bombs. He kind of brought him in as a trap, but he doesn't do that enough, And when he was fighting DDP, he got overcrowded by Dricus du Plessis, put his hands up, couldn't see anything going on, and then DDP was able to shoot down, take him down, and get that submission. I think Imavov, if he's smart, he will get into boxing range because he's a very good boxer. Imavov is a boxer. Adesanya is a more long-range striker, Muay Thai kind of style. And I think Imavov will be able to get in close and start winging bombs at Adesanya. And he has power. Imavov has power. He knocked out Cannonier. I know that was kind of a fluke knockout, but he rocked Cannonier bad. Rocked Allen in his last fight, stuffed all the takedowns, was able to get takedowns of his own, control Allen. I just think Imavov is going to be the fresher fighter. Not to mention as well that he is on a win streak and he's got the momentum. Israel Adesanya his momentum has been completely shut down. But don't get me wrong, I do hope that Israel Adesanya wins. He does have the reach advantage. He could get this done if he can keep it in the center for 5 rounds straight. If he can keep it exactly in the striking distance and the range that he wants to keep it at, he could win this fight. But I will be going with Nasruddin Imavov. Imavov is going to have so much time to adjust in this fight, and I don't think he's going to get knocked out. He's got so much time to adjust in this fight. He can get it up against the fence. He can get it to the ground. He can get into boxing range, and he will be able to do what he wants once he gets into those positions where Israel Adesanya is also uncomfortable. He's never shown to adjust well in those areas. So I will be going Nasruddin Imavov. I think Imavov will get the decision. I think it'll be close, but I think he will get the decision. Not to mention as well, he is Russian and he is from Dagestan. They're going to want him to win, all right? I'm sorry, but Saudi Arabia wants these guys to win. Imavov, Shamil Gaziev, Magomedov, Said Nurmagomedov, all these guys, they want them to win. I'm sorry, it's true. When it gets to the scorecards, it's just been shown it's rigged from time to time. So I am going to be going Nasruddin Imavov by decision, but I do hope Izzy pulls it off. We'll see, man. It might be the end of Izzy. It might not. We'll have to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Drop your comment down below which fight you guys are most interested in, which fight you guys are most entertained for, and which fight you guys are most excited for. But without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video. See you.